Hello and welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is a reading for Aries. If Aries is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Aries, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And there we have a Prince of Swords. Okay, we'll see. It's kind of neutral at this point, but we'll see how this might play out. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread. Interesting, very interesting here, okay. Also, if there's anything you would like me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Okay. Finishing up, Path of the Serpent here. Okay, this looks good. I like this. This is going to work. We're going to do a mystery card, a bonus card, a confirmation card. We're using the Waite-Smith deck for our bonus card. Mystery card. And this is the card that we're going to set aside. We'll put the frog right on top, and we're not going to look at that until the very end. Okay. And hopefully at the end of the reading, that card can tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we need. Now, looking around here, the only major arcana card that we have is this Lust or Strength card at the very end. That is our future prediction. That is our outlook. Okay. That is our projection for this energy. Where we're starting, though, is with some fire in the background. So it's kind of, we're beginning with this fire, we're ending with the fire. But that fire has to go through, I tell you, it's a lot of air. Right? We have air, air, air. We have air. And then we have some earth and some water. So overall, it's pretty balanced. There's a little bit of everything. But it maybe is a little bit heavy on this air energy. So starting with this Prince of Swords here, I wonder if there's an air sign person in your life, maybe a family member, a friend, maybe a significant other, a romantic partner, a romantic interest, a business associate, whoever they might be. I don't feel that there's a very strong emotional tie there, so I'm kind of thinking this might not be a romance thing. Okay, not seeing really a lot of emotion or connection or depth to this relationship. But I feel like they're in your life and there's some disharmony with them. Okay, there's some kind of discord in that relationship. Now, they may not be an air sign person. The air here, the Prince of Swords is double air, right? Really heavy air, air on air. So this is showing that there is a real cloud around this person or around this relationship. Now, we also have the Three of Swords that crosses them. So what I'm wondering is if this person is related to something from your past. Okay. Without getting too specific or too detailed, it seems that there may have been a bad experience with this person in your past. Okay. And I wonder if now maybe they're coming back into your life and it's rather disturbing. Okay. I see that it is creating quite a bit of kind of uncertainty, anxiety, a little bit of, well, dare I say, a little bit of fear, you know. So I wonder who this person was. I kind of, you know, I don't like to do readings of this nature. I don't plan these out. I can't, you know, I can't deny what the energy is right now. But I feel like this person was a rather negative part of your past. Okay, and I don't know if they're still around, if they're still in your life, if they maybe are trying to contact you recently. If it is a family member, or there's something with them where suddenly now the the thought of them, or maybe the communication with them, if they've come back or if they're still contacting you or something, that's causing a lot of anxiety. Okay. So I feel like it's really not someone that you want to talk to. And honestly, what it feels like is they are really nothing but an obstacle between you and your success, your strength, your passion. This really fiery confidence that we end with here, with this luster strength card. This is the outcome. This is the projected result of all of this energy. So that's where we're headed. I feel like the rest of these cards are a lot different than that energy. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Here is a Queen of Wands. Now, I feel like at some point in your past, maybe, I don't know how recent, I feel like you were kind of a different person. I don't think any of us are ever different people. We don't suddenly change who we are, but I feel like some time ago you had a lot more of this fiery energy in you, right? I feel like you were more confident, you were more ambitious, more creative. You were more self-directed, self-assured, more assertive, you know. And it could be through this relationship, or it could be that this person being in your life again, if they have recently come back, or for some reason, if we're thinking about them again, maybe it's an anniversary or something. That is throwing us off our fire game. Right? Because this card is really a wonderful blend of fire and water. It's confident, fiery, creative, ambitious, but it has a very soft, watery center, you know. A lot of compassion, a lot of love, a lot of heart, a lot of emotional connection. Despite the fiery energy on the outside, you were a very sensitive person. Okay? And I think that's why this air energy is really affecting you right now. Because you are a very sensitive person. And I mean that as a compliment. You know, you're not just all fire and impulse. There's a lot of depth, a lot of feeling to you. Okay? There's not a lot of feeling or depth in this relationship with this air energy, though. Right? So I feel like when the air energy comes into your life, it stops this fire water like that in its tracks. Right? Really just kind of puts a halt on this really wonderful creative energy. Your confidence, your ambition, your creativity, right? Your light, your fire. So it's telling me that this person or this energy, whatever this is, if it is a person, it's really a disturbing energy that they have. For whatever reason, okay? Whatever the history is there with this. Down beneath everything, we have a 10 of Wands here. I wonder if this was maybe a person that you were in business with, maybe you were in a relationship with them, you were close with them at some point. And through whatever happened, that has been completely destroyed. Right? Completely cut off. There's no more fire, there's no more water energy toward that person. It's just all this disturbing air energy. Okay? With the Two of Wands here, I feel like now there's this oppressive feeling in the room. Or when you think about this person, or if they're contacting you, or if you now have to see them periodically at family things or work things or whatever. I feel like there's a heavy weight on you whenever you kind of get around this person or think about them. And this is what is putting a stop to all of this fire energy in you, right? Again, I think you're very creative, you're very passionate, but when this energy comes in, it's like you're a completely different person. It's like you completely change. Okay. 5 of Swords at the top of the path of the Dove here. There is this again, this kind of oppressive energy from this person that makes you feel like you are smaller, weaker, that you're the underdog, that they have somehow overpowered you. It feels a little bit like a work situation, but it could very much be very much be in your private personal life, and this person has really seems to have disrupted your natural creative flow and your energy. Okay. And that's the Five of Swords here. It's this feeling of being underneath the weight of it all. See, Spirit's down here at the bottom of this card. And all of the other heavy elements are on top, and it's pushing it down, it's keeping it down. So this is a feeling of kind of being overpowered energetically, right? Maybe intellectually. Maybe this person enters the room with such an arrogance, such an air of superiority, and rather than in your typical Aries manner, rather than fighting against that and pushing back, because of the history here, there's this impulse to kind of pull back, right? To make yourself small and invisible because you don't want them to notice you. Does that make sense? And with the Five of Discs in the future here, or what's before you, there is some necessity of seeing this person right now. So I think that they are kind of back in your proximity, not through your own choice, but because of some sort of physical necessity. Maybe it's they have to come back for some family thing, or they've traveled back to the headquarters because of some business thing, or for some reason they're kind of back around now. You weren't expecting them to be here, but here they are again. Kind of, you walk into the room, you see them sitting at the conference table for the company meeting, and it just kind of throws you for a loop, right? There's some sort of necessity of why this person is here. I don't think it is just to try to connect with you. My cat is here offering her support as well. So I feel like it's a temporary thing, but I feel like it really disturbs your flow. I feel like, when this energy is around, you can't really form the right words. You're kind of stumbling around a little bit. It's not your typical fiery, confident, ambitious character. Okay. But thankfully, I don't see this person really sticking around. I think it's a temporary, a temporary visit that they're making. But while they are here, I feel like it's kind of throwing your game off a little bit, and I don't like that, to be honest with you. Let's look at the path of the serpent now, because we see a little bit more, of the same kind of air energy, but we see a little bit of water and a little bit of earth energy that are kind of coming together. So I think that while this might be a real abrupt shock, I think that we're able to maintain our composure and push through it and regain this fire energy. Again, we've got that luster strength card at the very end, and this is tremendous power. Tremendous courage and bravery, force and fire and magic and confidence, right? So all of this could be happening in an instant. Going from Queen of Wands through all of this really just kind of shitty air energy into this luster strength card, into this major arcana, right? You're going kind of full beast mode, right? But let's start down here, Princess of Cups. I think that this situation now is starting to make you feel some kind of way. I think that you are, rather than being more in the Five of Swords, Five of Discs, anxiety, and a sense of small, kind of being weaker than or less than or underdog kind of vibe, I think you're maybe having a stirring of a different emotion. I think you're getting pissed off. And I think that's a good thing, because we need some of this fire energy, which you are more than capable of. Even though this is water, this is showing that we are choosing to focus on a different feeling, right? It's the water energy. It's the emotions. This is kind of a reflection upon some of this air energy, right? It's like we're starting to really notice that a lot of this cloud, a lot of this fog, a lot of this disharmony and disruption here is kind of like a mist on the surface of the water here. Almost knocked over my tea. It's kind of a mist on the surface of the water, right? And we need to clear that away. We need to clear it away to really, I think, to assess how we feel, to even be able to reflect on what's going on with us. Not even really getting down to the depths, but even just seeing surface level stuff. We've got to clear out this anxiety and this air energy that we see here, okay? And I think, again, this is kind of done in an instant. When we get over this initial shock and all of this confusion and chaos and anxiety that we feel, then we can maybe take a breath and, you know, look through this mist at this water energy and really feel how we feel about it, okay? Because in the environment, we've got this Eight of Swords, this air energy, all of this air that we see, especially the air as it moves into this Five of Discs, the air is really going to keep you kind of locked up. It's going to be a mist in which you cannot find direction. You don't want to make any steps because you don't know what's right in front of you. You can't even see your own hand in front of you, right? It's that kind of a fog. So the best thing that we do is just not move in that instance, right? We don't want to keep driving because we can't see even the front of the car. So it would be very dangerous to try to drive in this condition. So it kind of freezes us in our tracks. But I think through the initiation of this water energy, trying to, you know, rather than just struggle against the air, right, and be in this air, be in this confusion and this anxiety and you know, that state of shock, kind of. Instead, we are really getting a grasp on how we feel about it, and then we're going to be acting from that place, right? So we're using our instinct, our gut, our feeling, emotion, energy, rather than our kind of intellectual, anxiety, mental stuff with all this air. Okay, so this is almost like, you know, you're going to instrument flight rules rather than visual flight rules, right? We can't see what's around us. There's too much of this fog, too much of this air. We have to rely on the instruments. We have to rely on our own nervous system, our own antenna, and we have to trust in that to kind of get a sense of which direction we're traveling, okay? So this card is about not traveling because we can't see through the fog. So we're not moving. We're not doing anything. But relying on, you know, radar and I don't know, altimeter and whatever else, we are able to make progress. We're able to continue with our life, our work. We're able to get through this fog. And that's exactly what's next, this Three of Discs. Now, usually this position is the position of what we don't want. Well, this is work. This is you getting back to business. This is you doing what you are here to do. Right? This is you understanding where you are and what's around you, right? You're, well, triangulating your position based on your gut, your instinct, your antenna, your instruments, rather than your just visual assessment of what's going on. You're trusting in something deeper or higher or whatever, more subtle, whatever you want to say. But why should this card be in that position of what we don't want, of what we are maybe concerned with or fearful of? Well, maybe there's a concern there that by kind of treating this like business as usual and not letting our anxiety or anything show by just cutting through that using our instruments, kind of bypassing this air energy. That maybe in some way we are enabling this person to act the way they act, or it's in some way an assent to their behavior or a forgiveness of their behavior. Maybe that's part of it. Maybe that's why we kind of don't want this understanding of, how to get back to business, but maybe that's something that we have to think about. This card is ruled by Mars in Capricorn. Okay? And Mars is that Mars can get kind of angry, right? So it's almost like we have to show restraint here. We don't want to. We want to crack skulls, but we don't. Instead, we channel all of that Mars, rage and fury and strength and power into our ambitions, into our success, into our fire, creative energy that's going to lead us to the future that we want, to the success that we want. So it's almost like the biggest FU is going to be for you to be as successful and as confident and as fiery, powerful as you can. Pardon my language. But I don't like this air energy comes in because we've had such a nice flow with Aries readings lately. This fire energy is tremendous, and then we get this really nasty air vibe coming in. And I don't know who this person is. Maybe it's not a person even. I don't know what it is. But I do know that it really is going to take a lot of restraint on your part, not to lash out, not to show your rage and your emotion. We're channeling that into our productive work, right? And you're able to do that because you're trusting your instinct and your gut, which, is telling you that, hey, you're pretty pissed off about this and you want to crack some skulls. But your instinct and your gut may also be telling you that the best thing to do is exactly what you don't want. You don't want to just focus on your work. You want to lash out. You want to be angry, right? Makes sense to me. So this is going to be the difficulty, I think, is that 3 of discs. But what we see next, and this is kind of through this 3 of discs dilemma, you're really gaining a magical control over this kind of Mars energy, right? And this card is ruled by the sign of Leo, or rules the sign of Leo, I should say. And Leo is a lot of that fire energy too, but it's contained, it's controlled, right? That energy doesn't just kind of lash out or go berserk at any provocation. It's very contained. It has composure. It's supremely powerful because it has that control, right? Something that is just a fury, it's just a rush of fiery energy. It's going to burn itself out. It's not very strategic, right? This lust or strength card is more strategic. It's more refined. It's more composed, right? There's more control over that kind of energy. And that's a real power. That is a real self-control. That is a real power and passion and fire and light and love and lust and all of this really wonderful active energy that now is at your disposal. It's at your fingertips. You're going to waste it on this air nonsense? No, I think you're putting all of this into whatever your plans are, whatever your goals are, whatever your work is. It kind of feels like this is a work situation, you know? Even if this is a private, domestic thing, if it's something with the family, I feel like you're really taking control over all of this energy, and you're going to make it work for you. Because that's magic. You're manifesting your will using all of the resources that are available to you, not the least of which is this martial Mars fire and kind of rage that you might feel. Okay? Now, maybe it's not that severe. Maybe I'm exaggerating things a little bit. But I want you to get a sense of what this kind of control and power means for you. And to do that, I think we should look at the mystery card. Because I wonder if this is going to represent you taking this fire energy, this lust or strength card, the 11th mystery of the tarot, and channeling it into something specific, or if this is going to be an indication of that kind of, the channeling of that into success and productivity. We kind of already have that a little bit with the Three of Discs, but the Three of Discs is mostly telling us that, you know, we're channeling that power and that strength into our work. It doesn't mean your career, it just means whatever your, you know, work with a capital W, whatever you do with your energy, whatever creative, productive endeavors you're involved in. That's the Three of Discs. So what's the mystery card? Yeah, Two of Wands, Dominion. The Lord of Dominion. You are master of your domain, right? I don't know how many of you will get that reference, but it doesn't really apply here anyway. But you're in control of this, and you're making the decisions on what is worthwhile for you to put your energy into. This is you making the decision of where to put this fiery energy. You're in control of it. You've got all of the control. You've got all of the power. So you can really choose where to release that energy, where to devote that power. And because you choose one path, the successful, productive, self-directed path, doesn't mean that you were too weak to go take care of business over there. No, it means that you were wise. It means that you had such control that even though this is what you really wanted to go crack some skulls over here, you're taking your energy here. And you're doing the productive thing. It doesn't mean you're too weak to go do that. It just means that you were more discerning. You were in more control over that energy. And that's the lust or strength card, and that's the benefit of this. Not just acting from impulse, but for having this refined composure and this control, channeling that into what is going to be supremely productive for you. This is wonderful. I like this. I like this a lot. We're going to go ahead and head over to the extended. If you would like to join me, just click on the link up here. That was my daughter's toy again. It just said that if you're thirsty, I'll help you find some water. It's like a jungle toy. The thing goes off randomly. It happened in the Cancer reading last cycle, and now it's happening here for you. So I think that's meaningful. I don't know what's going on with that toy, but she hasn't played with it in months. It did say that if you're thirsty, it will help you find some water. That's really what we need right here too, is some water, right? Because we said that we're kind of cut off from that water. We're fire, we're all this air, and then we're back to the fire. But this little bit of water here, this really didn't evolve into anything. This was more not a cool, refreshing water. This was the instinctual water, right? The intuitive water. So maybe in the extended, we'll see that kind of refreshment that we might need after all of this. It is feeling a little dry with the air and the fire. Those are very dry elements, right? You need a little bit of the refreshment. So again, we're going to head over to the extended. Click on the link up here. Thank you for taking this journey with me. And thank you for being the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot.